Social Strategy Podcast, episode 67.
Welcome to the Social Strategy Podcast, where it's all about making the most of your business with smart tips on what's working now in social media, online business, and good old-fashioned networking. And now your host, who's also known as Ross PR on Twitter, Vernon Ross.
Hey everyone, this is Vernon Ross, and welcome to the Social Strategy Podcast, bringing you the best in online business, social media, and good old-fashioned networking. And guys, I got a treat for you today. I've got a sexy boss. I've got Chief Sexy Boss, Heather Ann Havenwood. And, you know, when I ran into Heather, actually, it was through a connection. And she's got a really interesting background from starting off as a shape and fitness competitor, getting into a very interesting career in real estate. And that story in itself is going to be interesting to you guys, how it actually happened. Yeah. Living on an island and then somehow making her way back to the States. She's in Texas, so we got a Texas girl in the house.
Yep.
I mean, you know, started back in 1999 online. So she's got a really wide range of experience in actually building an online business. She was able to start from zero and go to $1 million in sales in less than 12 months. Heather is the CEO of Havenwood Worldwide, LLC, and she is the Chief Sexy Boss. Heather, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Wow, I sound really cool when you did. Your intro was amazing. Thank you.
No problem.
I appreciate that very much.
Now, you have an interesting background, so let's see.
I didn't think it was along the way, right? You're like on the journey.
Right, yeah.
This
like,
sucks. And then you're like, oh, wow, that's fascinating. I'm like, I didn't think about it on the way, right? And I like the part you talked about. I was at an island, then I came back to the States. Actually, the island was in the United States, but it did feel like that. It did feel like it was not on the United States property. But
I couldn't find out what the name of the island was.
Marco Island.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
it's off the Keys,
tiny.
right?
It's at the very, very tip.
Yeah.
If you go anywhere else, you'll like just fall off into the Everglades and you'll be lost forever. So it's Marco Island, the very bottom of Florida.
Well, that's kind of another country.
It is. Yeah. 2 mile by 4 mile, the entire island. One way on, one way off, one bridge. If it's taken down, you're hanging out on the island for the rest of your life.
Oh, wow. How fun.
Yeah, it was an interesting process. So anyway.
So let's talk about that a little bit. How'd you end up on an island?
I was broke. What happened is I was living in Orlando and I was traveling the country doing real estate seminars back in 2001 through 2005-06. And if you look back at the time frame of that time era, that was during what I called the boom of Bush era and boom of real estate, and everyone was buying and selling houses. If you breathed and you had a social security number, you could buy 3 houses. Yeah. So that was my I call introductory to the information marketing and entrepreneurial world. So I traveled the country. I worked for the top seminar companies in the country working for real estate. And that's where I learned the art of direct response, persuasion, sales, market. I mean, I learned it all. Presentation in front of people, none of this standing behind a computer screen. Like you had to look at people and ask them for money face to face. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, that's where I learned it all. But I also started a business with a business partner, and we went ballistic, and it went really well, really fast. But I think in entrepreneurship, you learn along the way. There is not what I call an owner's manual. Mm-hmm. You know, just like relationships, you learn along the way. And there's this thing called contracts and lawyer contracts.
Oh, those pesky things.
I was like, oh, you have to worry about that. So, so what happened is I just had a business partner and we did very well. But then I came home one day from a seminar, actually a marketing seminar, Matt Bazak in Atlanta. And I came home and everything was gone. Wow. Merchant accounts were gone. My logins didn't work. Money was gone. Bank accounts were emptied.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I had this big debt, and mortgage was due the next day. And let's just say I lost everything. So I had to file bankruptcy and foreclosure. And I learned that was my first experience of literally having a house that you buy 70% loan to value. You're totally fine. And then 3 years later, it goes backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And unless you experience, it's hard to conceptualize. Like, how is the house worth 300 now? It's worth like 160 in like 6 months. I'm confused. Yeah, it was my first experience. I think people that were older, like, they always say, "Well, now you've learned. That's called the 7-year cycle.
Right.
You young whippersnapper, so that's my experience. So what happened is I just lost everything. I literally lost my house, sold everything, and I got in my truck, had a SUV truck, and my dog and my car. The only bill I had was my cell phone and feeding myself. And I had a friend in Marco, and I didn't have any place to go. Like, I didn't have a backup plan. So he's like, come down here. So I lived with him for a year, and I just kind of stared off into space for a while. Just like, how did that happen to me? I thought I was smart and kind of had a woe is me for a while.
Right.
Yeah. And I tried to become a waitress. I'm not very good at that. I think it lasted 2 weeks. Yeah, they fired me in a loving way, like, you're not very good at this thing called service. I'm like, no. And so I tried to kind of go back into what I call real world, and get a job at Starbucks. I was trying anything. And this is also 2006-07. And at the time in Florida, there was, just to give you an idea of how Florida was at the time, because Florida was like Vegas. It was just starting to become a ghost town. No money, and real estate was upside down. And I remember I called U-Haul, right? And I was like, I need to get a U-Haul, a little U-Haul from Marco Island to Orlando. And it was one that you just put in the back of a truck and, move it up there. It'd be like $200 or something, right? It was like $500 or $600 or something insane. And I said, why? They go, well, everyone's leaving. We can't keep them down there.
Oh my God.
The closest one to you is like an hour and a half away. So just gives you an idea, of what was going on. And I remember a friend of mine who told me, he said, Heather, one of the biggest lessons I learned in my life is that you're not a tree, you can move. And just because maybe something's going on around you that's not good doesn't mean that you have to stay there. I think a lot of people were like stuck. I'm not leaving. So I did that for about a year. And then finally I woke up one day and said, okay, I'm done with this. Woe is me. And the ocean's nice, but I'm kind of bored.
Right.
And everyone here is dying. The average age is 80. So I had no friends. So I woke up and I was like, I'm done. I'm going to Austin. And I'm from Texas. So I was kind of coming home, but I knew Austin was a very happening place and a creative place and a place that was focused on entrepreneurship and growth and technology, and people were doing things and shaking. And that's important, to be surrounding yourself with an energy. So that's what happened. So I got a U-Haul and I left with my remainder stuff that I had, not much, and moved to Austin. Been here ever since.
Well, awesome. That's an interesting way to end up there. Now, were you in fitness competition before or after?
I did do fitness competition in Florida, but I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I did technically do it, but not really. I don't consider it. So when I got here in Austin, I started doing a lot of working out, a lot of yoga. And just this last summer, I did my true fitness competition. It was on my 40th birthday. Like, the actual event was on my actual 40th birthday, the day. And so, on my 40th birthday, I got in a tiny little bikini. I painted myself very dark, and I walked across the stage and asked people to judge me. It was stupid. Like, it was crazy. If you look at it that way, you're like, you're stupid. But actually, it was a pretty powerful experience for myself to kind of go through that process. And people ask me all the time, about how'd you do? And I'm like, for me, I did amazing. And you have to understand, you're on stage with some amazing, powerful women that look phenomenal. The top of the top. I had 43 competitors. They were just amazing. But for me, and this is how entrepreneurship is, I brought me, 100% me. I did the best that I could, that I knew that I could. You know what I mean? I don't feel that I skimmed it all. I did 100% me. And there's room for improvement, but it was a good experience.
How'd you place?
I didn't place. Yeah, there's only 3 places and 43 beautiful women, and I didn't place the top 3.
You know what your ranking was?
No, they didn't tell. No, it was just like top 3 and that's it.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, I did bodybuilding, which is why I asked, because when I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay, I got to ask about this.
Yeah, it was bodybuilding, so it was figure. They have figure bodybuilding.
And that's rough, and people don't understand the amount of dedication that it takes day in, day out, when you really don't want to eat another piece of chicken or another can of tuna. Yeah, and you're trying to diet down, and you're trying to carb deplete, and your brain's not working, and you just want to eat a cracker.
Yeah.
And when you
Yes.
do, it feels like life. So,
No, the water depletion. It was interesting. Was the last week, my coach and my boyfriend were like, "You need to stop working," because I was like a massive blonde. Like what? What did you say? I mean, I was so out of it because you're carb depleting, you're water depleting. I couldn't get anything done. I was like stupid. It was interesting. Yeah, it was really interesting. I'd cry at the top of that. I don't know what, yeah. I wouldn't suggest it. It's ridiculous.
yeah, but what it says though, I think from like an entrepreneur standpoint is that's what it's like.
Yeah.
It's it's almost like one big cycle of carb depletion where you're constantly trying to get your skin thin enough so it looks good on stage and the muscle striations show through
and you're African American, so you don't have this, but like I'm a white girl and I gotta get tan. I think I had like 5 coats painted, literally black paint. You're just painting your body. You know what I mean? Right. You have it a little easy, okay?
A little bit.
Man, but yeah, it took me like 5 days of showers upon showers.
Right. Now just go out to the Florida sun for about an hour or so and throw some oil on it.
Yeah, right. That's not right. That's not fair. Yeah, that was interesting piece because you have to start tanning like 2 days prior and you can't take a shower, so you get there and you just kind of reek,
Oh yeah, been through it. So there you go, guys. That's the whole bodybuilding fitness experience. If you're curious,
but I have to say this about it from people kept asking, "Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it?" For me, to see if I want to do it. I think entrepreneurship is like that.
Yeah.
Like why do we do stuff? I don't know. For me, because I'm crazy, I don't like to see if I could do it. I mean, that's really entrepreneurship, to see if I can do it.
Yeah, and it's a struggle, and it's constantly challenging yourself to figure out what works.
Constantly challenging myself.
Yeah, because you won't eat something and it doesn't work, and you blow, and then you eat something else, and all of a sudden you're looking good. So it's the same kind of thing. But getting off the bodybuilding, because we got on that somehow, but bringing it back around to what you're currently doing, Chief Sexy Boss. How did you come up with that brand? Where does that come from?
That's my Chief Sexy Boss dog in the background. And so back to the Chief Sexy Boss. So how did I come up with Chief Sexy Boss? Well, actually, I didn't come up with it. Joe Sugarman, a dear friend of mine, copywriter and an amazing.
Yeah. I know that name. Yeah.
Yeah, you know him, entrepreneur. He said it to me one time. I was in Vegas visiting him, and he's like, you're sexy and you're kind of boss and you're like a sexy boss. He just said it in his hit. And actually I know I am the trademark of it, which is an interesting process. And when he helped me with that process because he does blue blockers and he understood it. So he helped me kind of do it with a lawyer. But what was interesting is that we started the process of just getting this little trademark, sexy boss, this little girl, Mm-hmm. And we got a call one day from the lawyer and they said, hey, Hugo Boss is kind of upset that you're doing this. I'm like, huh?
Okay.
Like the Hugo Boss? So, yeah, we had to go through this back and forth process with their big time lawyers in New York. And I have to agree to all these things I'm not going to do with the Sexy Boss because it might be upsetting to Hugo Boss.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I did not know that. That didn't come out in the research. That's funny.
Yeah. I don't talk about it. But for a while there, they were playing hardball, like, well, you can't do it this and you can't do that. And I thought, my entrepreneurial little mind said, I wonder if the Today Show would have me on with this headline, because Hugo Boss was actually created out of the Nazis. Like Hitler actually hired the real Hugo Boss to create all of the uniforms for the Nazi team, for the Nazi, I guess you call it, army.
Yeah.
Right? So that's actually how the Hugo Boss, who's a man, who's a tailor in Germany, actually got started. So I had this headline of, bad Nazi company picking on a small female entrepreneur.
Oh my God.
Just trying to make it, because I kind of felt that way, like Hugo Boss cares what I'm doing, but that's what's so cool about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's funny. You made an impact.
I did make an impact.
Did you get on the Today Show with that?
I didn't, because they backed down. They're like, okay. So I was like, well, what's the point? They backed down on whatever we were asking for, and
right.
it was fine.
That's interesting.
But I thought about it, and I was ready to start creating the story, like.
Right. Now, so with the Sexy Boss brand, you've got a mission to empower 100 million women.
Yes.
In their journey to become financially independent and self-confident and self-reliant through entrepreneurship education.
True, and I'm not against men, by the way. Like,
of course not.
Almost all my clients are men, so it's not about that. It's not like a distinction of like only men, only female, not men. But the reason of the focus on female is there's a book by Lynn Twist that I read years ago, around the time when I was on my journey in Marco Island, and it's about the soul of money. The name of the book is called The Soul of Money. Here's the point. The point was she works for the Hunger Project. So her job is to end hunger in the world, right? And her job was to ask people for money to help fundraise for Hunger Project. Mm-hmm. And the Hunger Project asked a question. It was kind of an unanswerable question. What's the number one underutilized resource on the planet that if that was like handled or taken care of, it would end world hunger? And it's an interesting question. It's like, how do you answer that question? And they did some research and they found out the answer. What's the answer? You gonna, Vernon?
No idea.
No idea.
Well,
okay.
I would assume educating girls.
Well, yeah, it's female. So the answer is the number one underutilized resource on the planet is women. That if they were taught how to create commerce, AIE, entrepreneurship, mm-hmm. if they were able to learn how to create business work, and make commerce, then they could feed their families. So that's actually micro loans is what was created out of Hunger Project.
Oh, is that where the whole Kiva deal came from and all of that?
Yeah. Well, the microloans, and then Kiva is a microloan company, and many microloans companies are now out there, nonprofits. Mm-hmm. But the question was first asked, and then microloans got created because the whole point of microloans is giving like $200 to a woman in third world country to create knitting or something, and she can sell it, and then she can make money to feed her children.
Right.
Right? Because how it used to be is the man would go off to work, wherever that was. It wasn't necessarily down the street all the time. And then he was supposed to come back and give the money to the women so she could feed the children. But that didn't always happen all the time. He was gone a lot. Maybe he never came back. Maybe he never gave her the money. Right? So she's over there like, how do I feed my children?
Right.
So it's just like another aspect. And so I think in America, it's a little different where it's like it's very powerful as a person. Like if I can create my own commerce, wow, like me, I don't have to go look for a job. I can create it. There's a powerfulness there. And I think that man, woman, child, having that is pretty powerful.
No, yeah, indeed. So now how do you accomplish that?
Well, good point. I would say teaching the skills of sales, marketing, entrepreneurship. Joe Sugarman, like I said, dear friend of mine, he said to me a long time ago, he said, Heather, no matter what happens to me, I always knew that I had the power of the pen. That if I lost everything, it would be okay because I had the power of the pen, meaning he could sell anything with the power of the pen, right? Selling, marketing. When you can market and sell anything, you'll always have something to sell and market, and you'll always be able to create a commerce for yourself. Even it might not be your product, right? Mm-hmm. But think of how many inventors create products and they don't know how to sell them.
Right.
And they're starving. Or starving artists, as they call it, starving artists. They're these creators of these magnificent art, but they don't know how to sell it. So the key is what I call copywriting, sales, and marketing. So that's the biggest skill set I think everyone should have.
When we start talking about building an online presence and sales and marketing, for instance, with your book, and I didn't actually mention this, but Heather is the author of a book titled Sexy Boss, How Female Entrepreneurs Are Beating the Big Boys.
Yep.
While changing the rule book for money, success, and even sex.
Yes.
Which is just an awesome title. And, of course, how you can, too.
And how you can, too. Yeah, and I went round and round on that title. Joe helps me with that too. But being the big boys was the interesting part of it, because I think that some women, I'm just generalizing here, feel it's like that. Like, oh, I gotta beat the big boys. I don't know how to do that, So I think it kind of illustrated how they feel. I'm not saying it's actually accurate necessarily. Mm-hmm. I just think it's how they feel. It looks that way.
It comes across that way. I mean, just in dealing with a male-dominated society, period. No matter what it is, there is a certain level of competition that I've heard women talk about that they deal with and that they have to go up against. And the reason that women do so well together in groups is because it's a structure of empowerment so that they can actually lean on each other. And what I've seen is that, a lot of the times women are better salespersons, or, they're better at marketing. They're better at actually going out there and doing it. Because just from my standpoint, men aren't as disciplined to get the stuff done that women are, because we don't have to juggle as many things. So, I mean, if you're a mom, or just even if you're not, if you have had any responsibility, women are usually just as sisters and daughters and everything else, juggling multiple things, whether it's sports, whether it's helping out at home, or anything that they have to do. They generally execute it quicker and with more precision, just from my life growing up.
No, it's true.
Send your angry letters to me for saying it, but I know that the wife keeps me organized. Yeah,
well, I do believe that behind every strong man is a powerful woman. I just think that's so accurate. And again, it's not like this is the conversation. It's not like just against men. It's not about that. It really is the power of what I call male energy and female energy. Mm-hmm. Right? If you look at Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, Chapter 7, Sex Transmutation. Yep. That book is about what we're talking about. He says it. He says that success, a part of success, is being able to, he calls it the labor of love, okay? And in the world that we're in, what I call gay relationships, however you want to look at it, it's the female and male energy, okay? Or the female and the male ability to co-create together, i.e. kids, but also co-create a what I call a home, right, or business together. There's a yin and yang to it, and he talks about that in the book. That it's not until really a man, because he talks about 1934, a man is able to what I call being a labor of love that's positive, will he be able to succeed? Now, there's also negative to that. He also talks about, and he doesn't say these words, but he says it, that a woman can either break or make a man. Right? And you've probably seen that great man who goes through, let's say, a nasty, nasty divorce, or married to a not so great woman who just constantly bringing him down. It is going to be hard, if not completely impossible, for him to really, what I call, get to his full potential in life. Right. Yeah, you hardly ever see that. You hardly ever see that. Now, having a man that has okay potential and then marries or is with an amazing woman who's just 100% empowering him all the time, you see him just blossom, and get to his massively full potential. And that is part of it. And not to be esoteric, but actually he talks about the book that's part of the success system. Yeah. No. The Napoleon Hill is great, and I recommend that book all the time. But everyone always skips that chapter. Yeah, they do. They don't want to read that. Right. Yeah. They don't want to talk about it. It's a little too woo-woo. It's a little too woo-woo for me. I don't get it. They think it's just sex, Right. They don't think it's actually the transmutation part is the energy part, the sexual creativity energy. And sexual or love energy is the most powerful energy we as human beings have. And I feel, this is my view, is that entrepreneurs are tapped into that. They're tapped into their higher self. They're tapped into their creative energy. They're tapped into their sexual energy. I just believe that. Yeah, I think so. I think that it shows a lot when you start talking about entrepreneurs and the relationships they have and the relationships they have to choose based on what they're trying to do versus the relationships that they had before they became an entrepreneur, because it's different. And as you develop as an entrepreneur, you'll actually start to see your relationships change, and the people that don't quite get it and aren't in that space and don't have that same energy end up not being in your friend space. Yeah, there's a mentor of mine, Richard Flint. He's explained it this way, which I just love this. It's such a great visual, you know? He said, okay, now take everyone in your life and pretend, like, view yourself. You're walking down a street in New Orleans, right? You've been to New Orleans?
Oh, yeah, I have, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. The girls at the top showing the boobies. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you have a lot of balconies, okay? And then you also have a lot of gutters in New Orleans. It can kind of smell there, too. So he said, picture yourself walking down the street, and all of your friends and family are there. They're either in one or two places. They're either on the balconies cheering you on, or they're in the gutters grabbing your feet and trying to pull you down.
Oh, wow.
And it's the only place you can put them. You can't put them next to you. You have to put them in one of those places. And it's like immediate, right? Immediate. You're like, Johnny's there, Sarah's there. Oh, my God. I really want to acknowledge that. It was really powerful because sometimes the closest people you, quote unquote, have known forever, they're the ones grabbing at your heels, you know? And so you have to really look at that relationship and go, okay, where am I headed in life? And am I going to be able to get there with someone always nabbing at my heels trying to pull me down to the gutters? I don't know, you know? So,
right.
But I love that visual, you know?
That's a powerful visual.
It
really is.
It's not mine, Richard Flint.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I think that my first time I did that, it was someone I was in a relationship with, you know? And the moment you say the person's name, they go one place or the other. You know what I mean? You don't have to think about it very long. It literally is like, bing, your brain's like, pew, you know? And I'm like, oh, they're in the gutter.
Yep. Yeah, I just went through a list of people in my head and
Yeah, you're like, oh, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 down. Yeah, so it's pretty powerful. Sometimes also family, you know.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, oh, why? Yeah. So you have to remove yourself from the situation, or at least what I call, nicely, just not talk about your ideas anymore with them. I'm not talking about really what you're up to. It's just leave it to yourself, the people that really do support you. So that's a big piece of entrepreneurship, because if you go on that journey and that path, you sometimes lose some friends along the way.
Yeah,
you gain new ones. But,
of course, usually better ones, but you do lose you lose a few.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if people are curious, what do you do to make money? I know you're a coach and you have your book, and I'm assuming that you speak.
Yep.
So how does that look to an entrepreneur that's they're getting into this space? They're trying to figure out, okay, I've got this brand, I've got a good story, I'm in the process of writing my book, or I have my book, and it's brand new. It's just an ebook, it's self-published, but I've got it. How do I start? How do I actually make money and make it make sense? Okay,
well, it might sound rudimentary, but it's first getting really clear on who you're talking to, which is not everybody. It's really getting clear on who do you want to call to have them listen to you, you know? And then what's the intention? A book is just a calling card. It's not necessarily what I call the end all. It's like a business card. It's the beginning of a funnel. And a funnel, for me, is a sales process. And sales, the end result is what I call exchange of money for a product or service. Right? So for me, I have a few funnels. One is I do coaching. I do business coaching, specifically in sales and marketing. I work with my clients on this. What's your avatar? Who are you talking to? What are your sales funnels? How many people do you have in your leads? And what's happening is most of the time they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. It just like happens. Like, wrong answer, right? So that's the first piece, is getting clear on your sales process. Who are you talking to? What are they going to buy? How are they going to get close to you? The second piece of that, though, is what I call upgrading, where you're taking the information and you're taking the lead and then you're selling them something bigger. Because the money is what I call always in the back end, meaning you bring them close to you with a book, and then what else are you selling, right? For me, on my daily basis, I'm either coaching people, guest on podcast, and or running my dating business. I have an online information marketing dating business where I teach men how to talk to and communicate to women. And with that, I do email all day. I'm doing 2 or 3 emails a day to that list. That list is for men specifically, for men only, really. And on that list, I talk to men about that, and then I sell my products, other people's products, a lot of affiliate marketing, a lot of email marketing through that process. So that's what I do every day. And that's the first thing I would say to people is really get focused on what they're doing, how they're going to build the list, who they're talking to, and when they purchase you, what's the next step? What's the next thing for them to purchase? They buy the book. What's next? What's next? What's next?
Right. No, it's really interesting. When you speak, how much speaking do you do?
Well, podcasting, I do a ton because I can do it from the comfort of my home.
Right.
I haven't traveled a lot too much for speaking, but I used to travel the country and that's all I did.
Right. Yeah, I do. You were saying that with the real estate business. I'm trying to figure out how to frame this question.
Oh,
and
sure.
the way that I want to make sure that I've had a lot of people on that talk about sales and acquiring customers and,
Sure.
Who's your building out this avatar, this perfect person, constructing Bob and what Bob likes and where he goes and what he does every day.
It's key. Mm-hmm.
So when you figure that out, what would you say when you actually have to pick up the phone? Because sometimes, especially with a lot of the entrepreneurs I deal with, they're local and they have a local business that's an SEO business or something like that, and they're just not driving the sales online yet.
Yeah, you got to get away from the computer. And that sounds really odd that I said that, but I'm an online marketer. I have a master's degree in online marketing. Isn't that crazy? From Full Sail University. Didn't you know you could do that, right?
Right.
I think it was 2012 or 13 I graduated. So what's interesting is people do business with people, not computers, and they don't do business with websites. People do business with people. So the point that I'm saying is if you're a local business, the best thing for you to do is get out of the business and get out into what I call the real world, right? So that could be a local Rotary. It could be a local small business group. It could be you positioning yourself as an expert and doing a meetup yourself, or you're doing an education piece. It could be that you're doing a webinar. But with local businesses, local people like to be what I call out and about more. And I think that's a critical piece. You got to get away from the computer, especially if you're a website agency, SEO, that your target market, small business owners. You have to get out and away from the computer and out there with them, mingling with them, talking to them. Because I think that small business owners today still do business what I call old school, right? They're meeting, they're greeting, they're shaking hands, they're who are you, talking about you, what do you do? That's a really key piece. It's called belly to belly marketing. They see your face, I think that's a key. And start to begin to set yourself up as an expert from the get-go. Even if it's just a small business, you want to set yourself up as an expert in a particular field as fast as you possibly can.
Right. Yeah, and you can do that through podcasts or whatever, but yeah, definitely the face-to-face.
Even the local level.
Yeah,
right?
The face-to-face interaction is important. Do you, in your sales conversations, do you have very many in-person sales conversations? I
just had one today.
Oh, cool. Tell us about it.
Just drove back from one.
As much as you can without going into detail.
Yeah, no, sure, no problem. It's not common for me, actually. And I told her that. I was like, this is actually kind of fun to talk to you. She's a local business owner. She's owns a stationery company, and she's looking at taking more of her products online. So we had a great conversation. And it was a belly-to-belly conversation. What was great about it is I could see her expressions. I could see what I said didn't resonate or resonated. Asking her questions, how she felt about it. You can see how people respond on a face-to-face, belly-to-belly level. That's why I loved seminars. When I traveled the country, I loved seminars and face-to-face selling because you can read people's energy. Like if I'm talking to you right now and you're like rolling your eyes at me, I have no idea. Or you're like, yawn, you're boring. I could feel that if I'm looking at you. I can feel that energy of like, okay, this person does not care what I'm saying. And you can shift what you're saying to potentially what I call mirror match them, which is a technique. Mm-hmm. I think I think every salesperson should learn how to sell belly to belly or in front of people before they get online to sell. I just believe that. The challenge with a lot of people that are going to online sales is that they haven't had that experience. And the ones that are the most successful, you always hear a background of, oh, I started doing book sales when I was 10, or
Right.
I was doing newspaper sales when I was 20, or whatever. They always have some story about they started with belly-to-belly sales, knocking on doors, network marketing, something, For me, it was business-to-business sales. And I think that's a great what I call cutting your teeth on it, because when you start to sell something and you see people's immediate reactions to you, man, it changes you,
Right. Yeah, no, it does. It does. I've sold in person before, and it's just a different feeling.
It is a different feeling, but it gives you the confidence when you're in an online situation to do it correctly.
Right. Yeah. Especially when you close. It's just, there's no feeling like actually closing a sale that you worked hard on and was actually able to deliver a product that's making someone happy. And then they tell you how happy they are about it. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah. What was interesting, not to be esoteric, so when I traveled the country for doing seminars, so just picture this for a minute, because people have a hard time believing this. So I would witness with the team. We would all travel together, usually all guys and me. And the speaker and like two other guys, and our job was to help close the sales. Okay. So we would travel into like Chicago. We'd be there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to get an idea. And we go to different hotels every day.
Okay.
One hotel, different day. So, Chicago's big. It's north, south, east, west, whatever part of town.
Right.
And we would do 2 presentations a day, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Okay. And so we'd set the whole room. And then people would flood in, strangers. And we had 2 hours to sell them a $3,000 product.
Wow.
And if we didn't sell, here's a few things that would happen. One, we didn't make any money. A. B, we were considered then a bad team, and we all of a sudden were no longer going to Chicago. We're going to places like Peoria, Illinois, or like some really horrible place I don't even know, right? And so we didn't want that to happen. So we would make sure we sold at least, here are the numbers, what's interesting. The company was happening when we sold 12%. Now, and some people are like, that's ridiculously low. No, it's not. If you think about it, we have 100 people that we see selling 12% at $3,000 a head. And the company was happy.
Yeah.
If we sold 20%, we were like the golden child. Well, the point of it is, it was a very, I won't say hard. It was a interesting learning experience to go from complete stranger to an hour and a half. You're going to give me $3,000 and could be completely happy with the experience. Like, you're going to love me, and I'm going to give you a piece of paper back. I'm not going to give you a box of anything. All right. And then you're going to love me. And then on top, you're going to come back in 2 weeks or a week and do a 3-day seminar, and you're still going to love me and love our company. That is an interesting process to go through. I mean, nowadays people put these VSLs up and they don't even know the people's experience, or, like, they just know how many sales they got.
Right.
They don't really care. Like, do they love us? Do they hate us? Do they get any value? Like, it's there's a big piece that's missing. But that's what I did. I did an hour and a half VSL, At the end of it, we'd ask for $3,000. And if we got 10 or 12%, we were allowed to go back to Chicago the next week. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yay, we get to get a steak dinner. But nowadays, people are like, 10 or 12%, that's horrible. Or, oh, my God, that's low. Not really, if you look at it. And sales is a numbers game.
Yeah, not at $3,000 a pop. It's not.
Yeah, $3,000 a pop. And we actually, here's the other piece that was interesting. And I bring these experiences to my coaching because a lot of business owners think that they should make money on the front end. Now, remember, $3,000, we hit 12%. The company was happy. Not only that, if we broke even, I'm talking like made $1 for them, they're happy. $1. After the plane ticket, the marketing, all these things, they made $1. They're like, oh, we love you. You're the A team. Wow. Because they knew that was the acquisition cost of getting a customer.
Yeah.
And that they knew that were going to be able to sell that customer over and over and over and over again, other products and services, upgrade. That's the piece where entrepreneurs fail. They just focus on the first piece. They don't focus on, right? If that company had only focused on that first seminar, and they did no other selling, no way they would have been around a year.
Right. Yeah. So the way that translates to your online stuff, in case people don't understand it, is how?
Upsells, affiliate marketing, continue to email market. When I send an email to my list, which is sometimes 2-3 times a day, depending on the list, there is always something to buy. Always. 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 None of this like, well, I just don't want to sell anything. I just give them content. No. Always. Okay. It's like turn on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, whatever, and then tell them, okay, now you're not supposed to sell me anything between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m.
Right.
They're going to be like, what? No commercials, please. There's no commercial-free day or hour ever. Why? Because it's constant selling. You don't open a magazine and never see advertisement. You don't open a newspaper and never see advertisement. Why would you send an email to your list and never sell them something?
Exactly.
Crazy.
But we all feel bad about it.
Why? No.
I don't know. I have no idea why people feel bad about it.
Slap. No.
Right.
No. Ever. I mean, never. I never, ever send an email out without selling something. Now they don't have to buy it. They don't have to click on it. It's their choice. Yeah. But there's always an opportunity for them to choose.
How interesting. So that is contrary to what most people feel social media is for. Because most people, they just don't like, oh, well, I want to be sold to on social. How do you feel about that?
I think that's ridiculous.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
I don't even know what to say to that. Social media is just a medium, okay, to acquire customers, acquire leads, and to acquire potential sales.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So even my branding, I'm still driving them to something to capture their lead, potentially have them purchase something from Amazon with my name on it, whatever it is. I'm still driving them somewhere so that there's a process of in the sales environment. Captured lead is a sales process, that could maybe sell them later on something. Maybe not my products, maybe somebody else's. That's another thing entrepreneurs I work with them a lot on is they're like, well, I don't have anything else to sell. Like I only have these 3 products or 3 services. Like, well, your buyer's X. What else do they want to buy? What else are they buying out there? Why not they buy from you and you make a commission? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
So again, I look at email as another medium. Social media is a different medium. Email marketing, to me, this is my view, it's like TV now. Okay? Let me say it this way. You turn on the TV, you go to a channel that you like, and then you listen, watch, whatever, okay? Email is the same way. You're scrolling through your TV guide, which is your email box, and then you click on something, and you read it, and then you might click on the link, and then you might go down that little rabbit hole. It's the same kind of thought process that we do with our TV guide, or our guide on AT&T or whatever you use.
Right.
It's the same. We go to guide and we flip. Oh, that looks good. Flip. That looks good. Same thing with email. We go to our email, go, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Which is the same process. So you use it as the same kind of medium.
Very interesting. I've never actually heard it put like that.
Yeah. Versus, think about it. So email's that way, right? Now what's social media? You go to Facebook. What are you doing there? You're more like scrolling and, oh, look at the fun cat video.
Right.
Or, oh, look at what Vernon's doing. Oh, click on that. Huh, interesting. Same kind of process, but not as direct.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because your email box is your email box.
Right.
Not somebody else's.
No, yeah, I agree 100%. So do you think there should be a call to action in every social media message that you put out there?
No, there's definitely what I call brand awareness and just a communication. But there should always be something to go to, like go check out the podcast or go check out my new book or go check out this new chapter in this blog post. And then the blog post goes to something else. Go to any Huffington Post, USA Today, New York Times online post and tell me that you're never going to see an ad around it.
Right. And depending on the site, you're going to get pop-ups for ads and videos before you can watch a video.
Exactly. It takes you like 10 clicks just to get the dang blog. They're not saying, oh, we shouldn't do that. I feel bad. They're not doing that, guys. They're not doing that. So why should you?
Right.
Right? We just get a voice. We should do bad to do other people. Like, no, that's actually how you, if you're not annoying I think Dan Kenny said that. If you're not annoying somebody, you're not selling, you're not making money.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So if people don't like me, they get off my list.
Right. Exactly. It was like, well, I don't know. I don't want to make the people mad on my list. Well, you should probably be mad at them if they're not buying something that you actually have to sell. And you're probably doing them a disservice if you actually have something that's really, really valuable and they haven't bought it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I work with an acupuncturist on his newsletters, and that was the biggest thing. I mean, he's a healer, so he comes from that place of healing, and he had that hang up with sales. Oh man, big time. Love him. Michael, if you're listening, you're great. But he's come so far and I get his newsletters now, and he's like, he'll put in like an affiliate link to, like, this is the book I'm reading, and it goes to an affiliate link on Amazon. I'm like, oh, that's so great, because people want to know. They like him. He's an amazing healer. They've healed their lives or their back or their whatever. They the ailment. You've healed them, Michael. I think you've given yourself the authority to say, hey, I also suggest this. Hey, I read this book now. Maybe you might like it.
Right.
Hey, I'm using this new supplement that's really powerful that helps with my brain. You might like it too.
Yeah.
He has created himself an expert, to his customer base. Why would they not be interested in what he's doing, what's going on, what seminar he's creating, what information's out there? Oh, this new blog post on mind creation. Oh, wow. Check it out.
Yeah, I think it's all in the way you deliver it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like so many marketers are in such a rush to just try to make the dollar that they don't actually deliver enough value to justify earning the right to do it.
Oh, sure. Well, there's a difference between spam and...
Right.
I mean,
right, exactly.
You go back to the TV, click on guide, and you know which ones are infomercials.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Click over that one, and then, go to your Fox News, CNN, whatever your choice is, and watch your favorite person, and they'll say whatever, and then all of a sudden you'll get these commercials forever. And then you get annoyed with the commercials, and then you wait for them to turn off, and then you watch TV again. I mean, you know what I mean? We're used to this. We are trained. So therefore, use the training you have, which is we are trained that way. And therefore, all your marketing, all your email marketing should have some element of moving people towards some kind of what I call sales exchange with you.
Yeah, that is really, really
It's a better
valuable
way to put.
I think that's great. That's a valuable message. Is there a piece of parting wisdom that you would like to leave the audience? Something that you've heard that you're like, oh wow, that was a game changer.
Oh, sure. I'm actually I moved my head a little bit. Apologize. I have these things called life lessons that I have up on my right next to me. I'm staring at them. I stare at them almost every day of my life. So I'm just going to leave you with one because I think they're pretty powerful within themselves. Let's see, which one am I going to pick? Okay. Never keep anyone in my life that's not part of my fan club.
Oh, I like that.
It's crystal clear, right?
Yeah.
This one's an interesting one. We could definitely talk about it, but we don't have to. But it is a pondering one because it's up against what I call the norm of life right now. And I like it. Like, I really live by it. Okay. So, quote, I am the most important person in my life. This equals mature selfishness.
Oh, that is interesting.
Because you got to take care of yourself. You cannot take care of other people if you don't take care of yourself first.
Yeah, I always have that conversation with people that are nurturers. It's like, look, I understand that you want to take care of everybody, but you have to take care of yourself in order to be able to take care of everybody else.
And that's what the word mature selfishness is.
Yeah. Mature
selfishness is actually the ability to be able to take care of yourself so that you can then provide whatever you're providing to the world, to yourself, to your family, whatever. Like a Tony Robbins, he takes care of himself.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yeah,
he does.
You have to spend the time.
You guys spend time. So some people go, oh, that's selfishness. I'm like, no, that's mature selfishness.
Right. Yeah, no, not everything's centered around you, but you have enough centered about about you to make sure you have the energy to take care of everyone else and the resources to take care of everyone else that you actually need to take care of.
Yeah.
That is such a good one.
Thank you. So I leave you with those to ponder. Feel free to take them and put them next to your desk.
That's awesome. And this has been an amazing interview. I really did enjoy the time that we spent talking together. And guys, something that I want you to pick up on is almost every entrepreneur that I've asked questions about either their daily routine or what they do. This one wasn't an obvious question, but if you think about what we just talked about, the fact that Heather has stuff sitting right there that she looks at, that's positive reinforcement about keeping her on her mission to empower women and stuff like that. That quote is going to help keep her centered so she can provide that value to people. That's just something to think about and to take away. And it's like, okay, am I doing the things daily to reinforce what it is that I want to do? Because the journey is rough. And of course, as everyone jokes, the struggle is real. And to have things like that are positive, that helps keep you focused on what you need to do, that are within eye shot. So when you're frustrated and you put your head in your hand and you happen to look up, you've got something in front of you to help you reinforce it. So yeah, I really do appreciate you saying that. And I love the fact that you have that stuff there. And I'm not surprised.
Well, thank you for that. That was very eloquently said.
Well, thank you. And I really did appreciate it. And thanks so much for coming on the show.
Sure. Thank you.
So what a treat. That was amazing. Great interview with Heather Havenwood, Chief Sexy Boss. That's a pretty cool brand. I really had a good time talking to Heather, and I hope you guys got a lot out of that. She is a very interesting coach and business person. You should definitely check out her website, pick up her book, and get into it some. Some of the stuff that she has in there, I mean, it applies to anything that you're doing from a business perspective, an online business perspective, and you can use it if you're in the dating scene. You can use it for that stuff. I mean, she has some amazing information, and as you guys can tell, it was a fun interview. We hit it off really well, and what you'll get as a bonus with this interview is we did a blab hangout where we got into all types of subjects. We got a little bit more into her background, deeper into her background, and then we actually brought on some people and did some live Twitter assessments during the podcast. So that was really fun. Definitely check out Heather. You can find her everywhere. It's in the show notes. Really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Remember, we need ratings and reviews to help keep the show popular and up there in the top 200 in iTunes. So definitely go out to vernonross.com/reviews, and you can leave a review right on iTunes. That'll pop it right up in your phone, and all you have to do, leave a rating, quick review, just let us know, hey, I love the show, something like that, and you're done. But we really do need those ratings and reviews. Even though the show's not brand new, still like to get them and still like to hear your feedback. So email me, vernon@vernonross.com. Of course, you can find me everywhere online at RossPR. Connect to me there. Keep the Instagram stuff coming. Instagram has been fun, and keep the Snapchats coming. A lot of you have finally joined me on Snapchat. Of course, I'm at RossPR on Snapchat. You can view my snaps, and of course, I follow everyone back that follows me on Snapchat. And it's been great connecting with a lot of you guys that way. So until next time, guys, I will see you in the next episode.